Hi guys, Peter Finch here and welcome now to the Quest Golf Academy, and today we're going to be talking about practice and how you can better structure your practice sessions to get the most out of your game. Now the way that I'm going to structure this video and the way I'm going to talk through about structuring a proper practice session is in three parts. Now the first part is how to practice your overall technique. Now the way that I would prefer you to do this, and the way which has been shown to be the best throughout many years of this crazy mental game, is to take lessons. Now I've been taking lessons myself from Dan Whitaker to try and improve my own technique. Now bear in mind that I am a coach, I've had over 10 years experience of coaching as well, but even I want someone else to have a look at my swing to give me some different ideas, because when you are looking at yourself, sometimes it's actually hard to see what the truth is. So to get someone else on board to actually look at your game, to give you advice and to try and steer you in the right direction is very important. Making sure that you get notes from that session, making sure that you understand exactly what you need to be doing is very important, and that is going to form the first part of my practice. Actually working on my technique, trying to get my body into certain positions and feeling my way into the swing that I want to try and achieve. Now the second part of the practice is all about competition, trying to put that technique under a little bit of pressure to try and see what it is like, to try and see if it feels comfortable and to try and see if it gives the results that I want. Now this is very important because this is a part of a practice session that not many people do. When you have been practicing, when you have been working on your technique, it's then important to put it under the microscope before you take it into actual play, before you take it into competition. And using a game situation and using the GC Quad and the Foresight software like I'm going to be doing is a great way of doing this. Now you can do this without the Foresight, you can do it without a launch monitor, you can do it just on a driving range. But if you have access to this, then by all means use it. It's a fantastic tool. And the last part of the practice session is all about evaluation. What went well, what didn't feel quite right, and what is it that you need to move forward with to try and improve your overall game. Now the first bit of this is to work on the technique. Now I've chosen my wedges to begin with because wedge play is something which I really do need to improve upon within my own game, but I'm also then going to be moving on to just a little bit of long game as well, just to try and supplement the short game practice that I'm doing. It's very unwise just to go to a driving range and hit one type of club. You need to mix it up. You need to make sure that you're trying to represent golf in its entirety in every practice session, which isn't easy to do. But using this software, using this type of technology, I'm able to do that. So what I've done here is I've set myself 70 yards out from a hole. I'm at Carnoustie here, obviously. But you can do this obviously at a driving range, at a golf course, wherever you can get on. But I've set myself at 70 yards and I'm going to be working through my technique. So the technique that I'm going through with my sand wedge at the moment and with my wedges in general at the moment is to try and get the club feeling like it's slightly on the outside going back, because I have a tendency to drag the club inside, and then rather than move from the inside and flip the hands upwards, to try and move a little bit more on top of the ball, to try and clear my upper body, but then to try and also feel like the club is pointing more down towards the target. Now what that allows me to do is I move through using the body to turn, using the club and extending it down in this direction, keeping it outside my hands, is utilize the bounce a lot more. So rather than just coming through the ball, hitting the ball first and taking lots of turf, I'm using the bounce angle of the club to try and get a little bit more of a consistent flight. Now this still feels very strange, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 20, 25, possibly 30 shots towards this target, just trying to get used to those feelings and really working through, taking my time, going very slowly to try and get the sensations that I want. So 70 yards. Slightly open with the stance up on the outside. And then just trying to get that bounce working underneath. And that is... that's a good start. It's a good start. felt pretty good. A little bit lower. It's just trying to get a little bit feeling those differences. So I felt I got a little bit more on top that one, a little bit more squeezy out, and the flight certainly looked a lot different through the air. And I think it looks a lot different here as well. If you do have the ability to do this, I have got the videos running here at the Academy as well. I can see that my takeaway is a little bit up on the outside, and that right knee is moving forwards a little bit as I come through, which is a tendency that I tend to have. So I'm just going to get the feel that that lower half is a little bit more under control as I move through the ball. Now straight away that felt a lot more solid in my lower half. Because the thing is, when you're actually trying to improve your technique, because you can have a look at those first few shots and actually go, well, you know, what do I need to change about this? Probably not a lot, because they were going quite close, but it's about the consistency. It's about being able to hold it up under that pressurized situation as well. So just controlling that lower half. Some takeaway. Yeah, feels so much more solid as I come through now. Good. Wow, that felt. Get in. Oh, I think that's a good one to end the practice technique on, because I really feel that I got it then. I got it. So just had a look at the analysis there, had a look at my swing again, and overall I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. So now it's time to put it in a test environment. Now I've got here one of my ladder wedge tests. My highest score on this is 67. It's 17 different targets at 5-yard increments. So it goes from 50 yards all the way up to 130 yards. And what my task is to score as many points as possible using the new technique as opposed to my old technique where I got that 67 mark. So 67 to beat. Can I do it? That's the key. Can I do it using this new technique and really focusing on this new technique as well? So first shot, 50 yards. Left. Oh, whoa. Just got away with it. Just slightly left that. Also not a perfect strike, but got away with it. Not bad. I did feel I got a little bit handsy with that one. It's better strike. Go. Stay. That was one where I really came through and felt that those hands came over. Still got a 3-pointer out of it, but that wasn't my best one so far. Right, I'm going to complete this test and then we'll reconvene. Just had a very weak last shot there. So I've had 2 1-pointers here on the wedge test, which isn't great, but last one 130 yards. Let's see if we can finish with a good one. Got to go a bit of that. Oh, good bounce. So that's going to close me with how many points? So 61. So that's 6 points altogether short of my previous best on this test. Now, the one thing I would say when I'm evaluating the results of this is I didn't focus solely on target there. So I was really focused on my overall technique. Now, if you're getting out on the golf course when you're in competition, that is something you want to try and avoid. You know, you want to be trying to focus so much more on the target than rather just on your technique. But practicing this way helps bring those two things a lot closer together. So now I've done that wedge test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the FSX skills challenge, because what this does, it allows me to break this all up and it allows me to have a go with something slightly different. Now, if you've not seen the FSX skill challenge before, my previous best score on this is 30. There's 14 targets, but lots of different distances, lots of different shots. So I'm breaking up my practice, still working on those same things within my wedge game, but then just trying to get a feeling of how that will transfer to my full swing as well, and the differences between those two techniques. So 30 points to beat. Come on. Well, that's not the start I wanted. More like it. It's 60 yards. I have to go with that. Damn, bad strike. Go on. Roll out. Ha. Not that much, gotta go as well. That's a bad shot, that thing, that's a bad shot. No. Well, I don't think that 2 irons in my bag. So, that is practice session over with. 29 points on the FSX skill challenge, less than my best, which I'm unhappy about. Some really poor shots. My clubs are at home, so I wasn't using my clubs, I was using my old set of 1 length, which aren't 100% right for me. But even so, my biggest errors there came with some of my wedge shots. So the stuff I've just been practicing, when it came to the competitive situation, like the real hard competitive situation that this FSX skill challenge is, because it gives you so many different shots, it wasn't quite up to standard. But that was less to do with technique and more to do with what was going on in here. And this is why it's important to start practicing like this, because it bridges that gap. On one of those shots and on a few of those shots there, I didn't fully concentrate on what the distance was, because I was more concerned with what my technique was feeling like and what it would have looked like. Now, that is not the right way to go. As soon as I got to that FSX skills challenge, I should have switched off and I should have just gone distance, just gone target, because that is the big takeaway. You need to be grooving your technique to the point where you can take it on the course and not even think about it. So what I would do now is I'd stop that, I'd go back to the beginning, I'd start grooving that technique again, and then I'd go through the process again, trying to get better scores every time. And hopefully that gives a bit more of a better explanation over how you can be structuring your practice sessions, what you can be doing, how you can be relating that back to points scored as well, and then hopefully that will show through on the course. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. It pulled me in again, this FSX skill challenge. Good on and yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment below, let me know what you think. All my social media platforms are all linked in the description below. I'll see you down here next time.